Hey there. So, let's talk about book. You know the one. It's George Orwell's. People mention it all the time, throwing around terms like Big Brother and Orwellian. But here's the thing. What if we could break it all down right here, right now? We're going to dive into the world of Oceania, meet our tragically normal hero Winston Smith, still manages to feel so chillingly relevant today. Consider this your official, no judgment allowed guide too. Think of it as the ultimate cheat sheet. So, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get a little weird. And frankly, one of the most terrifying books ever written. Why should you care about a book that's over 70 years old? The world is completely different now. We have smartphones, the internet, and an endless supply of memes. Things George Orwell couldn't have possibly imagined in detail. Yet that's what makes this book so profoundly spooky. He might not have predicted the technology perfectly, but he absolutely nailed the human part of it. The desire for control, the power of fear, and the way truth can be twisted. It's less about predicting the future and more about understanding the timeless and sometimes dark parts of human nature. This isn't just a story about a totalitarian government with cameras everywhere. It's a deep dive into the psychology of power and oppression. Orwell asks some really big, uncomfortable questions. What happens when history can be rewritten on a whim? What does it mean to be truly free if even your thoughts are considered a crime? These aren't just questions for our main character, Winston. They are questions that echo through our modern lives. Throughout our little chat today, we're going to connect the dots between Winston's world and our own. We'll look at concepts like doublethink and newspeak. It's a fascinating and frankly terrifying idea about how language shapes our reality. It's a puzzle, a warning, and an incredibly sharp piece of social commentary that's more relevant than ever. By the time we're done, you'll have a solid grasp on why isn't just a classic book, but a crucial tool for thinking critically about the world we live in right now. And maybe, just maybe, you'll start looking at your smart speaker a little differently. Let's get into it. Let's meet Winston Smith. He's aggressively average, not a super spy or revolutionary leader. He's a 39-year-old with a job he hates and weary resignation about his life. He works for the government, lives in a crumbling apartment building, trying to avoid the telescreen. He is just a guy, and that's what makes him perfect for this story. Winston's rebellion is internal, quiet, and desperate. He remembers a time before the party. He feels dissatisfaction with the world around him. He's just trying to feel like a human being, which is the most dangerous thing you can do. The story kicks off with Winston doing something incredibly risky. He buys a diary. In a world where every action is monitored, writing down your private thoughts is defiance. It's the first crack in the dam of his conformity. This diary becomes his sanctuary. It's where he questions everything. He writes things like, "Freedom is the freedom to say that 2 + 2 make 4. In his world, the party could declare that 2 + 2 = 5, and you would be expected to believe it. Winston's act of writing is him planting a flag for his own sanity. He is trying to hold on to a piece of objective reality. So, where does our friend Winston live? He resides in Airstrip 1, formerly Great Britain, a province of Oceania. The world is divided into 3 perpetually warring superstates: Oceania, Eurasia, and Eastasia. This constant war is convenient for the government, creating a sense of crisis against an ever-shifting enemy. Life in Oceania is bleak. The landscape is gray, decaying, and there's a constant shortage of basic necessities. Keeping the population poor and uncomfortable makes them less likely to question authority. Everyone wears the same blue overalls, stripping away individuality. Everywhere, posters declare, "Big Brother is watching you." Big Brother is the face of the regime. His presence is inescapable. Telescreens broadcast propaganda and watch everything you do. Society is rigidly structured. The inner party enjoys luxury. The outer party, where Winston belongs, carries out orders under surveillance, and the proles are left mostly alone. Living in Oceania means following rules that are both terrifyingly clear and maddeningly vague. The most important rule is that there are no written laws. Since nothing is explicitly illegal, the party can declare any action a crime after the fact. The most serious crime of all is thought crime. In Oceania, even thinking a rebellious thought is a capital offense. The party believes that if they can control your thoughts, they can control you completely. This is enforced by the thought police. Even kids are encouraged to report their own parents for any sign of disloyalty to the party. So, how do you survive? You learn a skill called Crime Stop, which means instinctively stopping yourself right at the threshold of any dangerous thought. And you master double think. the ability to hold two contradictory ideas in your mind at once and accept both. Winston is writing his secret thoughts, trying to survive. It involves Julia, a woman he works with. At first, Winston despises her, seeing her as a zealous party member. One day, Julia slips a note into his hand. Winston is terrified, convinced it's a trap. He finds a moment of privacy and unfolds the note. It says, "I love you." For Winston, this is shocking and dangerous. This note flips his world upside down. It's an act of rebellion. The question is, what do they do next? After the note, Winston and Julia face an Olympic-level challenge: how to meet. Every space is monitored. A misplaced glance could be seen as suspicious. They manage a whispered exchange in the canteen to arrange a meeting. Eventually, they find a secluded spot, the Golden Country, a place from Winston's dreams. Here, away from the party, they can talk freely. Winston sees their affair as a political act against the party. Julia, younger, isn't interested in grand theories. She breaks the rules to create a small, secret world where she can enjoy simple pleasures. Winston, haunted by the past, sees their love as a defiant act for a future generation. Julia, a realist, fights for her own happiness now. She's interested in them, not the next generation. She wants makeup, good coffee, and the freedom to be with who she wants. Winston rents a room above the junk shop, a sanctuary without telescreens. Here they can be a normal couple. They make love, drink real coffee, and talk for hours. The room is a bubble of freedom, a fragile paradise. Their love deepens, but so does their sense of doom. Their loyalty to each other is stronger than their loyalty to the party, the ultimate crime. It's a pocket of humanity, but also a trap. Their love story is a testament to the human need for connection, even in hopelessness. We've seen Winston and Julia find this little pocket of rebellion, but how does the party maintain such an iron grip? It's not just telescreens. The party uses psychological tricks designed to control not just what people do, but what they think and feel. The first tool is constant low-grade fear. They foster an environment where anyone could be a spy, creating a society where everyone is policing everyone else. The party keeps everyone on the edge of poverty. Survival becomes the main priority, making critical thought or rebellion difficult. Finally, there's the control of information. They're constantly rewriting history to match the party's current political needs. Truth becomes whatever the party says it is. When you can't trust your own memories, you have nothing to stand on. Let's explore one of the most chilling concepts in the book: newspeak. This isn't just a new language, it's a weapon designed to narrow the range of thought. The party's idea was this: eliminate words describing rebellion or individuality, and you make those thoughts impossible. How can you dream of freedom if the word no longer exists? It's like trying to bake a cake when all the ingredients have been stolen. Newspeak simplifies vocabulary and grammar, eliminating synonyms. Why have bad when you can say ungood? Really bad? Double plus ungood. Excellent becomes plus good. The goal is to strip language of nuance and emotional depth. Newspeak is a blunt instrument to crush complexity and turn communication into party-approved information. It's a linguistic straitjacket. The language is filled with politically loaded words. Good think means party-approved thought. Duckspeak is spouting propaganda mindlessly. The party considers it a compliment. Newspeak makes adherence to party doctrine the easy path. Expressing heresy would be incredibly difficult. The language fights against you. Newspeak is a long-term project, aiming to be Oceania's only language by 2050. They're phasing out Old Speak, English. When Newspeak is perfected, heretical thoughts will be unthinkable. If thought depends on words, controlling words controls the mind. It ensures rebellion can't be conceived. Doublethink is the party's ultimate mind control trick, believing two contradictory things at once and accepting both as true. The party's slogans say it all: war is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength. Citizens must believe war brings peace, slavery is freedom, and ignorance is power. Winston lives this contradiction daily. He rewrites history, knowing it's a lie, but must believe the new version is the only truth. Doublethink means you erase your own logic, then forget you ever did. It's not just lying, it's self-brainwashing. The party uses doublethink to erase reality, making people doubt their own memories. If you can't trust your mind, you'll accept whatever the party says. That's how the party stays all-powerful, by making truth whatever they want it to be. In Oceania, mental gymnastics aren't optional, they're survival. Winston works at the Ministry of Truth, where truth is manufactured and history is rewritten. His job? Edit old records to match the party's current story, then destroy the originals in the memory hole. The past is constantly erased and rewritten. If the party changes enemies, every record is updated overnight. This endless revision means there's no stable reality. Only what the party says is true. People's memories clash with the official record, but eventually most trust the party over themselves. The Ministry of Truth, along with the Ministries of Peace, Love, and Plenty, are all named with cruel irony. Each ministry does the opposite of its name: war, torture, starvation, and lies. These are the engines of total control, shaping not just politics, but reality itself. The result: a society where even your memories aren't safe from the party. In Oceania, history is whatever the party needs it to be: yesterday, today, and forever. Winston and Julia find a brief escape in their secret room, dreaming of rebellion and hope. They trust O'Brien, believing he's part of a resistance, the Brotherhood. O'Brien tests their loyalty, promises them the truth, and gives them Goldstein's forbidden book. Reading it, Winston feels validated. He's not crazy. The party really is built on lies and manipulation. But their sanctuary is a trap. A hidden telescreen has recorded everything. The party was always watching. Soldiers burst in, shattering their illusion of safety. O'Brien was never a rebel. He's the party's enforcer. Winston and Julia are captured, their rebellion crushed. The party's message is clear: you can't outsmart the system. In Oceania, the party always wins. Winston is thrown into the Ministry of Love, a place of endless light, no sleep, and constant fear. Here, the party doesn't just punish it, breaks and remakes you. Winston sees fellow prisoners, even loyal party members, betrayed by their own families. The real shock: O'Brien is not a fellow prisoner, but Winston's chief torturer. O'Brien calmly explains the party doesn't want to kill Winston, but to cure him, make him love Big Brother. Torture follows, both physical and psychological. Winston is forced to accept the party's reality, even that 2 + 2 = 5. The goal isn't confession, but total surrender of the mind. The Ministry of Love destroys independent thought. By the end, Winston's sense of self is shattered. The party wants not obedience, but genuine devotion. Broken, but not yet loyal, Winston faces his final test. Room 101. Here, the party confronts you with your worst fear. Winston's is rats. O'Brien threatens him with a cage of starving rats ready to be unleashed on his face. In terror, Winston betrays Julia, begging the party to do it to her instead. This is the final victory. Winston's love, ideals, and resistance are destroyed by fear. The party doesn't need to release the rats. Winston's spirit is already broken. He's emptied of all rebellion, ready to be filled with love for Big Brother. Room 101 is where the last piece of you dies. The party's power is absolute, not just over actions, but over thoughts and love. Winston is cured. In Oceania, even your nightmares belong to the party. The light never goes out, and neither does the party's control. So, we've been through it all. Why has stuck around for over 70 years? It shows us the worst-case scenario of what can happen when we stop paying attention. The book is less a prediction of the future and more a timeless warning about the present. Think about the concept of doublethink. We see versions of it every day. We live in an age of alternative facts and deepfakes. The idea of constant surveillance is a very real part of our lives. Orwell's novel forces us to ask, where do we draw the line? It's a warning, a call to action, and a plea for us to protect the things that make us human. So what have we learned? We've learned that Oceania is a terrible place to live, that the party has some seriously twisted methods of control, and that falling in love can be the most rebellious act of all. We've seen how language can be used as a weapon through newspeak, and how reality itself can be warped. It's a lot to take in, and it's definitely not the cheeriest story you'll ever encounter, but it's one of the most important. Is a vital tool for critical thinking, a lens through which we can examine our own world. It's about being aware, questioning narratives, valuing privacy, protecting free speech, and understanding that a healthy dose of skepticism towards authority is essential for a free society. And that's a wrap on our whirlwind tour of. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this little literary adventure, be sure to hit that subscribe button, because we've got plenty more stories to unpack and ideas to explore together. Until next time, stay curious, keep questioning. See you later.